Well, hello everyone. Happy holidays. I know it's been a while. I have no excuses. I hope you're all caught up with everything you need for your holidays. My sister Karen and I stayed over there last night, and I'm actually sitting outside of her church now. I want to go in and show you the Christmas decorations. I only was with her for a couple of hours last night and slept there, and then she left very early to decorate some stuff today and to set up for a Christmas party. Then I'm going to crash and just have a cup of coffee. Hey, so much to check in about. Sorry I haven't been around lately. No excuses. It's all me. I'll fill you in on things that are going on. Nothing big, nothing earth-shattering. Merry Christmas, happy holidays, happy whatever you celebrate. It's an incredible time of year. I feel so lucky and so happy and so content and so conflicted. And one of the things, I just heard my little one wake up from a nap. I'm downstairs, of course, in my home away from home, and I don't know if you can see, I just got home. It's 54 degrees in here, which has been kind of balmy, 37% humidity because I was at Karen's overnight, so the humidifier ran out of water. And I have the heater on, and I'm sitting on my day bed, and it's got an electric mattress pad, a heating mattress cover or whatever. So that's on, and it warms things up considerably. Sorry, that's bothering me. I have a sweater and a sweater so that I can be warm, and my tea, which I've given up putting milk in because I'm tired of letting it go bad in my little refrigerator because I don't use enough, even if I get the smallest ones I can, and I'm too lazy to go upstairs. So, black tea. I've been at Karen a couple different weekends. Still haven't gotten to fix her clock. I swear I'll do it. I swear I will. Last week when I was over there, I cut the back of her hair for her. I miss cutting hair so much. I'm surprised at how much I miss it. And I don't know if I said this, so I will. My license came in to renew for my hairdressing license in Massachusetts, and I'm never going to use it again, but it's my identity, and I'm not ready to let it go. So I had mentioned to Michael, what do I do it? I feel like an idiot, I feel like an idiot doing it, but I just kind of want to. And he said, how much? I said, $65. So he said, then do it. So I'm still a licensed hairdresser. That's really good. And the other day, Michael said, Ma, because I told him it came in, he said, that's a good thing, because once Squish goes to school, I think you should go back to work and earn your keep around here. No, he was kidding, I think. But I still have it. And I cut the back of Karen's hair last week. This week, she texted me and said, bring your scissors, because I had to use hers last week, and she's right-handed. There are left-handed cutting scissors for somebody like me, and I really need them. So I brought them over. There was a little piece she didn't like, and she was right. I had not beveled it or stacked it quite enough in the back. It looked so good, and I had such a good time doing it. And then, again, last week, I went out to lunch with my sisters. Unexpectedly, I was at Karen's. We went to a craft show. I bought cocoa bombs. Really nice. I wish I brought one down for you, because the girl that had the craft show, Joanne, dropped off a bunch more at Karen's for me that I asked her for. Thank you very much, Miss Joanne. And after that, the sisters and I grabbed a quick lunch, which is the only way it will work. Bernie had hoped that we would get together before the holiday, and if we had planned or tried to plan it, it never would have happened. But we all had an hour or two available. So there's a picture here because we ran into a girl that we grew up with. Haven't seen her only a couple times randomly over the years. Bernie and I ran into her at the Atlanta airport probably 10, 15 years ago when we went out west for a hiking trip, and we just happened to see Margie and her husband in the airport. Anyway, she took this picture of the sisters together. So that was really nice. And that afternoon, I had slept at Karen's. I went back over there in the afternoon. That was a Sunday. and Shirley came over and I cut her hair. I'm telling you, I want to cut hair. But I shouldn't cut hair because I've always been this way. I'm the hairdresser that can get a little scissor happy, because I start doing something and I realize how good it would look if I just did a little more. And I do, and it always does look awesome, but not necessarily something that the person I'm cutting it had anticipated. I'm never like cutting off 6 inches. Although sometimes I'd like to slip and do that. This weekend, I went over to Karen's because Mike and Nikki went away overnight last night, and they let Squish go for a sleepover. I'm still hyperventilating about that, at one of Nick's sisters. They're wonderful, wonderful people. I personally don't believe in sleepovers until you're old enough to tell us what's happening. That comes from being abused. Anybody who has that background will definitely understand that. And it's just something my family has never done. Sisters, not a lot of, it's just very uncomfortable. She was wonderful. I talked to her about it a lot before Amy picked her up, and she had a ball. And Nikki very, very nicely texted me this morning that when they were home with her, so I could finally breathe. Today, I ran down to Karen's church just to take pictures of it, because you've seen it before, and they have a big poinsettia tree I wanted to show you, so that will be here too. I also have a couple of pictures that will be here too of things that have changed at the house, not my house, things that are changing in my life that many of you will appreciate. And it's the little footprints in the snow, because Squish got to see snow for the first time with me, and I videotaped it for Mom and Dad and let her feel it, and we took a scoop of it and brought it in the house for her, and she watched it melt. And then I had to dump it down the drain in the bathtub. Here's the next point that we're at. If you're doubting what you're seeing, we've got the potty out. It's still too early. She's 17 months old, but she's now sharing it with her stuffed animals. So that's a stuffed cat that she sticks in there, and then she stands there and goes, pss, 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 pss. That's the progress we're making there. And the last one that so many of us will remember, their Christmas tree. Look where all the decorations are, because Squish did the decorations. Isn't that precious? Oh, I think that's all I have to share with you for pictures, but I just thought so many of those things will trigger our own kids growing up, and you with your grandchildren when you have older ones already. At this time of year, brings out the nostalgia. Other things. Diane on our private Facebook page put up, and I'm looking down because I'm reading it, writing, I don't know what you call it, of 14 things no one tells you about being 70 years old. And it could be apropos for 60, 90, 80, whatever. But some of it really resonates with me. When it says turning 70 can feel like entering a whole new chapter, but here's 14 things no one tells you, shared with honesty and a touch of encouragement. And the first one is, people will start to speak to you differently. And I think we've talked about that people's tones can change when they talk to you. I have to say, I have not found that at all. I don't feel like anybody speaks to me gentler or slower or treating me overly polite. That's what it's saying here. They speak or simplifying things, and it said it can feel patronizing. I do understand that. I don't feel I've been patronized much, if at all. Now, there are plenty of times at going on 71 that I probably could use people to simplify things, but we won't talk about that. But they said, the way you carry yourself can set the tone for how others treat you. And I think that's true. And I carry myself with, I would almost say standoffishness or reserve. And that's just how I've always been. And this says one of the hardest parts of getting older is worrying that you become a burden to those you love, even when family reassures you you're not. That I will cop to, because I'm constantly apologizing for myself, constantly thinking that I'm in the way here. I shouldn't speak until spoken to. Again, background does come into that. Accepting help doesn't diminish your independence. It highlights the deep connections that you've built over a lifetime. Boy, I would like to accept that, because I'm petrified of anything diminishing my independence. I mean, really petrified. Number 3, your confidence in saying no will skyrocket. No is my favorite word. And remember how I say no is a complete sentence. It does not have to be followed by an excuse or a reason, just with a smile. Gone are the days of saying yes to everything out of obligation. Now you've lived enough to know what you enjoy and what you don't. I know that a lot of older people struggle with that, with saying no. And it's from a lifetime probably of saying yes. But I think that's one of the more valuable lessons I've learned. And it is so freeing to only say yes to what you really want to. Now, my caution with that is I often do a knee-jerk no. The minute you ask me something, I say no, without considering, is it something I want to do? Is it something I'm interested in? And that's something I'm trying to slow down. Say, let me think about it. And again, that's another complete sentence. Number 4, you'll be surprised by how much you still want to learn. I don't know. I wouldn't want to take on much new now. And I know that mentally, I would pick and choose. I don't want to try to learn anything real technical anymore. I would get frustrated. I like to learn information though, so. Learning keeps your mind active and gives you a sense of accomplishment. I don't know, I feel a sense of accomplishment when I take a shower. Number 5, you learn how to count. 5, by the time you're 70, family roles may look different. You might find yourself leaning on children or grandchildren in ways you didn't expect. Or you may be the glue handling your family together, and shifts can be emotional. I think that happened earlier than 70. I think when your kids get in their 30s, they start to try to parent you a little. And it's a gradual process of learning to accept that. You'll feel the weight of losing loved ones. If you're lucky, you get to 70s without feeling the weight of losing loved ones. Not all of us are that lucky, and a lot of you and I have felt that weight many times over the years. I think as we get this age and we see, of course, more loss because we're getting to that stage of life, it can either be more painful or, in my case, I don't want to use the word comforting, but I don't have another word I can place there. I've talked about this before, I'm sure. If you believe that when we leave this earth, we're going to a better place, then I find the ability to be happy for the person who has passed away pretty easy. I know I have a weird perspective on things. Just go with it, folks. It says at 70, grief is a heavy companion, and it doesn't have a timeline. But with loss comes the opportunity to cherish the memories and moments you've shared. Absolutely. But I fear living in the memories, and a lot of you talk about that. I don't like that for anyone. Enjoy the memories when you have them, but there's a difference between enjoying memories and wallowing in them. I don't know if that sounds selfish for me to say that or not, but memories I want to be comforting, but I don't want to live there. I still have life left to live, and I want to see what I've got ahead of me. It says grief can also feel isolating, and of course it does. When you're in the thick of it, nobody can touch you. I ran into an acquaintance that I really enjoy at Hannaford's today, the grocery store. Her husband passed away a year and a half ago, maybe or so. And she had said, I asked how she was doing, and she said, finally better. Finally, she's not expecting him to walk around the corner. And the loss has, I'll use the word dulled, enough that she's enjoying life again. Doesn't mean she doesn't miss him. Doesn't mean she doesn't think of him all the time. But she can breathe. And I think that's the most important thing about grief. I know it has no timetable. I know there's no right and wrong. I wish there was a way to move it along for people who are really struggling. And I know they have to find their own way. But I hate it for them. I hate it for anyone who is stuck in the path of grief with no off-ramp. 7, your sense of humor will get sharper with age. It says at 70, you've seen it all, heard it all, and perspective may lead to an uncanny ability to laugh at life's absurdities. And a good sense of humor helps you cope with the challenges and keeps your spirit light. I have always spent the majority of my life laughing at the silliness of life. I find that making life much more enjoyable. 8, you might struggle with feeling invisible in certain spaces. At 70, there might be moments when you feel like the world is moving on without you. Could be being overlooked in conversations, dismissed when you share an opinion, feeling out of place in younger crowds. It happens because society sometimes undervalues older adults and assumes they're less engaged in the world. Well, part of it's our own fault. Stay engaged. Sounds simple to me. Yes, I sit quietly sometimes now. Still not my gift, but there's nothing wrong with weighing in with an opinion. It says being invisible also has its advantages. It gives you the freedom to observe without pressure and speak only when it truly matters. Absolutely. Although I seem to speak a lot whether it matters or not, people will tell you. Nostalgia will hit you in unexpected moments. That's number 9. Yeah, of course it does. We've lived a long life. And, a song will set you off. I have songs that, if I cried, would make me weep. I have songs that just make me smile. Right now in the holiday season, I have Christmas songs on the radio all day long so that Squish can learn them. And I'm singing and dancing, and I love it. And what is that? That's the nostalgia of memories over the years. And I think music triggers my nostalgia quicker than anything else. Number 10, you'll discover new joy in everyday moments. I think all of us say that, the joy of getting in a hot shower, which when you were younger, you did because you had to get out and get running. And now I get in a hot shower and I am actually smiling with, oh, this feels so good. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you for the hot water. And all day long, I think a lot of us do that. I'm thankful for every little moment, and I'm enjoying it in ways I couldn't when life was so busy. Number 11, your body will demand more rest, even when you don't want to slow down. You might notice that you tire more easily or need longer recovery periods. Listen to your body allows you to conserve energy for the activities and people that matter most. Rest doesn't mean give up on staying active. I haven't found that yet, or at least if I have, I'm going to be blissfully ignorant to it. It's all hitting us at some point. And I think we're all smart enough, or most of us smart enough to rest when we need to. That might be where I'm at. You'll learn to appreciate small acts of kindness more deeply. That's number 12. And at 70, you also realize the power of paying it forward. I guess. I have to say, that happened for me many years before 70. The small acts of kindness are what make life worth living. I'm aware it says kindness creates a ripple effect, bringing warmth and connection to everyone it touches. Absolutely. I spend a lot of time when I'm in Hannaford or anywhere else saying hi to people, smiling at people, going that little bit out of my way, and you can see the gratitude on the person that you're reaching out to, and I hope and normally see it right away bounce off to the next person. 13. You might start to feel out of place in a world that's moving faster. You might find yourself struggling to keep up or feel disconnected from conversations about gadgets, shows, or apps. And it says, here's the thing, you don't have to keep up with everything. At 70, you've earned the right to prioritize what matters most to you. And yeah, there are some things I no longer am interested in, like the gadgets or something. I may just go, you know what, been there, done that, don't need to know more. Nothing wrong with that. That's what they're saying. But I don't feel like things are moving so fast that I can't keep up. No, I don't feel that way. Number 14, you finally realize that happiness comes from letting go. And you'll understand the freeing power of letting go. It doesn't mean giving up. No, it means releasing the things that no longer serve you. I think in the last 2 years, that's become one of my favorite sayings. When something comes up, I say to myself, how is that serving me? Or how is this feeling serving me? Or how is reacting this way serving me? That's been a big change. So I'll, grab that all the time. And it said, let go of regrets over paths not taken and mistakes made long ago. That's a lifelong process. I'll never completely get there. That's okay. We're on that journey. You're supposed to learn from your mistakes. Well, some mistakes I've made over and over. Some mistakes are egregious, but I can't change them. So I don't know if it's letting them go or knowing they're there and trying to work around them. But that's the 14 things. And it says, remember, this stage of life isn't an ending. It's a beautiful new chapter. Celebrate it, live it, and cherish every moment. I'm trying. I hope you are. I think you are. From those of you that I have more contact with and message more, I think we're all working on the same process. But I found that very, very interesting. A couple of other things. Had a visit this week from one of my friendly acquaintances. She stopped over the other day, met Squish, was so wonderful with her and warmed my heart. And we talked a lot about, what's going on with kids and stuff. Really had a good time. That was super nice. So thank you, Chris. That was a nice visit. The music place that I was taking Squish to twice a week closed down. I'm really sad about that. There's a new thing I'm going to start to take her to, and it's kind of a activity thing with, like in a gym. It's a free thing. I don't go crazy here. It still allows her to be with other kids and jumping and running and tumbling and all the stuff little ones need. I wanted to get to that this week. Tuesday, Squish was still not feeling well. I asked her if she wanted to go see other kids. She had, the end of a cold, and she just said no. So Thursday, I told Nick, we are going Thursday. Come hell or high water, this kid is going to get to these playthings before they're over for the season. So Thursday in Massachusetts, it snowed. Not a lot. We got a couple of inches. That's the day I took Squish out to play, and then we got in the car and went 5 miles to this plaything. telling Squish that, she's going to get to play, and she doesn't like riding in the car that much, so I always feel guilty even doing that. We got there and they closed because of the snow. You want to tell a 17-month-old that, excuse me, but we're getting back in the car seat? Yeah. So I took her to a nursery that had a bunch of poinsettias and a cafe, and it was very nice. So we had, she had a muffin and we sat. Then she ran up and down this little ramp thing, not in anybody's way, and nobody was around, but she ran for an hour and a half. Slept like a log when we got home. She had a ball. It was as good as if we had gone to the gym. But I wanted to buy something for her to take to that restaurant we go to on Fridays for the woman that she's made friends with. I showed her the little boxwood trees. She wasn't impressed. Remember, I'm doing this with a 17-month-old. We went into the room that had 10,000 poinsettias. And she starts pointing. She wants to get her a poinsettia. And she starts pointing to the $80 ones. We walked around this place for a good half an hour. I'm pointing to poinsettias. Nope. We must have looked at 30 different poinsettias. Now, they all look the same to me. She pointed to the one she wanted. Don't know what was different about it. But we took it Friday, went to the restaurant, and got to give it to Miss June. That was the first time that she's gone through the process of picking something out and giving. I thought that was really special. On to house things. Very little happening. Michael finished the plumbing. That should be inspected this week. Next week, they should be doing the siding and insulating. Then it will start to look differently. We've got a couple guys that have come out and they're going to give us prices on doing the drywall. So it'll be moving along. One of the reasons things have slowed down is Steve, my ex-husband. We brought him home. He was home for 2 days and called Michael and couldn't breathe. Well, he can't breathe. He's got so much COPD. He ended up back in the hospital a week and a half ago, and it's not good. He contracted COVID this week. This is very funny, changing the video. I had another 10 minutes talking about things with Steve that I just had to delete because I was going to tell you he stopped eating and, things don't look real good. And Nikki just came downstairs to tell me he started eating again and they're going to move him to palliative care. So it's, 2 steps forward, one step back. And it's, a daily thing now to see how he does. Other thing, I finally pulled the trigger and ordered bedding for my bedroom. Now, I was going to show you what I ordered, but what I'm going to do instead, I had 2 bedspreads that I've been agonizing over because, there's nobody home half the time. I'm going to put both of them up, and A and B, and I want you to tell me which one you would pick. You're not going to see them until the great unveiling, if there's ever a great unveiling. So here they are. The top one is A, the bottom one is B. Which one would you have picked for your room? Remember, the walls are going to be that very, very soft white with no yellow at all in it. I have no plans for parties or anything through the holidays. I want to be home so I can take Squish the nights that Michael and Nikki have the opportunity to go to parties, and outside of still going to Karen's on the weekends when I feel like I need to be out of their way. I'm enjoying the holiday. I hope you can. Let me know what you're doing. I appreciate seeing the pictures. Hey, I love the chicken pictures. And if you don't understand what that was about, you have to join our private Facebook page. Everybody else, have a great couple weeks. Jan, I hope you finally get heat. And I will talk to you sooner rather than later. I promise. Happy holidays. I think I'm done.